Hi guys, Dr. J back here again. Now that we learned how to do the palm mute, I think we should assimilate it into the context of whole song. I think the best thing is if you were to spare the palm mute for, let's say, the quieter sections, or let's say the verse, instrumental, the intros, that sort of thing, sparing the full sound for, let's say, the chorus, okay, of a song. A good example is Your Grace Is Enough, which is a song I think most of us are familiar with. And you want to start the verse with something like this. Like that, right? And then when you get to the chorus, so it's, even without me singing, it's pretty clear, you know, what am I doing? Like, I'm in the chorus, I'm back in the verse, right? It's very, very clear. And these are obvious kind of audible cues for the rest of your team to know where you are too, because sometimes, you know, they get lost, right? Like it's not clear if you're necessarily going to repeat the chorus or not, and sometimes, you know, you lose track of where you are. So it's very, very helpful for the team to hear, he's doing a palm mute, we're obviously not in the chorus, let me kind of take it down. Right, so it's a very, very helpful thing, and so those are the those are the uses of palm mute. Now, obviously, a palm mute is not very helpful for, like, let's say the slower ballads, because you're not really going to use that kind of tune, that kind of style of strumming. So how do we, what else is there to do besides palm muting and full strumming? Well, there's something that we call flat picking, which is when you're using the pick and you're picking each individual note, right? The easiest way to start there is just to kind of roll a chord. So if you remember, let's say the D chord, and let's bring it back to the D chord again, right? So instead of just playing a D chord, you can roll it like that, right? And I think it's important to kind of get used to that sound and get that in your hand. At least learn how to roll a chord like that, and do it in time with the meter, right? So let's say if we're doing a 6/8 meter that I was kind of just doing there, right? Then you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, like that, right? And you for a 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, like that, right? You want to fit your rolling into the context of the meter of the song, right? Let's do a G chord, right? So instead of doing a G, you can roll it, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, right? So obviously there's six notes to the guitar, but if you're doing it like, let's say 2, 3, 4, right? You're missing, like, you need like 8 strings or something to make it fit the whole span of a 4-beat bar. So instead I'm just kind of resting, right? Letting the strings just ring, and it's important to kind of make sure that you're keeping in step with the meter, right? Let's do it again. Instead, switching G to C in a 4/4 thing. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, okay? So you can do that and just basically just flat pick your way and just roll the chords like that, right? This is a technique that's very helpful, and just to get you started with flat picking, right? When you're doing a little bit more than just rolling the chords, then you can alternate and start picking different strings out of order, and that's really all we're doing, right? So let's go back to the D, because there's only four strings that are played in this one, right? So you can just alternate and just keep going, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, just going, in just out of order because it just kind of varies the sound, right? And you don't have to worry about what string you're playing because any of the strings, as long as your fingers are in the right position, are playing a note that belongs in the chord, so you kind of can't make a mistake, right? So the same thing goes for the C chord, right? So let's go with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can just kind of alternate, and it doesn't matter what note you're really playing, right? They all belong in the chord. So that's kind of how we get to flat picking. So we just kind of have to get used to it. Notice how I wasn't down picking every single string because sometimes the note is played better up, and that's just what fits better in your hand. So there's no rote way that I have to teach you, oh, that note is played up and that one's played down. Whatever kind of fits in your hand, but just get used to not, let's say, down picking every single note every time because it starts to sound a little more mechanical or like a march, and you don't want that, right? Right? Like you want to down, down, up, down, up, down, up, and it takes a little bit of practice to get that in your hands too. All right? So that's the basics of how to incorporate a palm mute into the context of a song and the very beginnings of flat picking. All right? So keep on playing.